Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to another scene for Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York, wherein Tim Point has only just collected Haraya from a bar in the city where he was out with a number of people who were not only strangely unaffected by the curse, but they were downright fucking friendly, almost creepily friendly. Definitely had Tim Point feeling ways. She's never touched so many people's hands in one sitting, ever. But she has been walking alongside him, and for the most part has not touched Aiden unless he looks like he was in the process of keeling over, seeing as he's had a good bit to drink. And yeah, we'll probably start this right around time they get to the bond where it's safer to talk. Not immaculate, but safer. There would have been a rite of cleansing, of course, as they hit the edge. But beyond that, it's just been eerily quiet walkies. We'll assume Aiden's been a little introspective as they made the first bit of the walk that are properly aware of just the human population as they walk the streets.
Yeah, once they get to the bottom of the sept, his arm loops around 10 Point. Like walking slowly, his kind of feet kind of go a zigzag motion eventually till they reach the cabins. And once he reaches the cabins, he seems to keep hold of her, which is odd. 10 Point's probably not used to that kind of clinginess from him.
She is not. She's not looking a gift horse in the mouth just yet, but if anything, is just kind of pleased on some level. But still, there's an edge of worry, especially as when they return to the camp and he doesn't immediately let loose.
He just kind of like sits down, actually probably still holding on to her, oddly, you know.
And yeah, she'll perch down straight alongside him, set close enough to enable the arm.
I just needed to take the edge off, and it didn't work.
I'm sorry for interrupting, Raya.
You weren't doing much, really. It was more, I was trying to go out and see if I could, I don't know, drink. Since I can't do the other thing that I normally used to do.
She kind of quirks her brow.
Normally what would happen before I met her and before Sheila, I used to go out and drink in court. So now all I have is the alcohol, if you get what I'm saying.
I do, Raya.
Which the problem is, alcohol is naturally a depressive, so, do you know?
It is.
Just need something to take the edge off, 10 Point.
I assume it isn't something where you can simply spend the time you would have spent courting with your wife.
He kind of sighs a bit. It's a rush. Do you know what I'm saying? In that moment of pure chaos and thrill and wildness, it's the only time that you really feel like your heart's beating fast. Do you know?
He keeps being like, and she's just kind of lightly chewing on her lower lip.
Do you know, for example, in battle, do you know that rush you get when you burst in the door and your heart beats about 1,000 miles per hour?
She mulls that over. I think for me, Raya, it is more the thrill of speaking to one of the larger spirits. I don't respond to combat as well as you do, and I know nothing of courting.
When we paint our woad on, do you know that feeling you get, that primal energy?
That one gets her. She nods.
That's sometimes what I'm looking for. And alcohol just dulls me. I used to use it as a stimulant to kind of help, but now it's just more as a depressing thing.
Perhaps a drive, Raya? You seem to enjoy those.
Maybe. I'll see. Can't very well drive now, can I?
All you would need to do is shift.
I don't want to shift. I like feeling it.
She purses her lips a bit.
Loss of control at some point. Just for 5-10 minutes.
And she mulls it over, weighs it, rolls it around in her head, and will look aside again. Is there anything else that gives you that feeling, Raya?
Few things. And if it's beating you, it's not one of them. He'll smirk a bit. That's a different thing. That's lessons.
I know.
Just fucking savages today. Fucking fools.
Pardon, Raya?
You hear about that pack that tried to come in here?
I was at the Cairn Heart, tending Great White Mouse.
Talking about wiping all the city out. Culling the population. Bullshit.
Were they?
Yeah, one of them was a fucking Red Talon. Fucking savages.
Who did they speak to?
William White, who'd you think? About the wild.
She kind of winces. I hope you didn't speak to them at length.
We prevented that even though they threatened us. We had offended them. They insulted our own fucking alpha.
Did they?
Yeah, but we're the bad ones apparently. They come onto our territory, speaking the way they speak in their pipeline of dreams. I know the warder says we have to behave and all that, but this is our home.
It is.
That Philodox kept quoting the litany. Well, what about the litany of respecting the territory of another?
Not respecting those beneath you.
Fucking snarled, said he'd tear me to pieces. He's lucky I didn't fucking kill him then and there.
Yes. It's never wise to invade a sept and try to force ideas onto the people there. As we've seen, these septs are different. But trying to force the ideals from home would get us nowhere.
We didn't have those ideals from home, 10 Point. They're talking about culling populations. We need the humans just as much as they need us. There's a whole point to us. We're part man and part wolf. There has to be a harmony. Otherwise, it's just one never-ending cycle of bloodshed.
Do we truly need them besides the kin, Raya?
In a way we do, because there's the veil. No matter how much any traditionalist will tell you, there is the veil. And we must respect it and harmonise it. Fortunately, if we are to truly beat the worm, we must learn to adapt. Keep our traditions so close, but adapting is what keeps us alive.
Very true, Raya.
And those are fools. Fucking doomed to fucking follow their own fucking death.
You remember how, not so long ago, I told you I'd spoken to William White?
Yeah.
These were the manner of things he spoke of.
Oh, well, we gave him a piece of our mind when he tried to debate with us. I told him straight to his face, the William White is dead. This isn't the thing I recognise before me.
Did you get through to him, Raya?
Whatever that is in him is not anything that's going to be reasoned with. And if we're going to have to heal him, we're going to have to do it forcefully. Or kill him. Now, I'm hoping we can do the latter before it becomes just the standard procedure.
I know that we have tried to think at length of ways to balance him again. But it is no small...
Wasting time. He was wanting to take that red talon and his blind mule of a fucking thing snarls around the city.
If we'd been able to intervene, Raya, before it became so severe, it would be much easier. But as it is, there are only but so many ways to balance someone who is so far taken by one of the triad.
They said things like the nation should value the wild as an ally. It's a member of the triad. Everything has to be in harmonious balance. Stupid. Just growls.
Were the triad as it was meant to be, it would be balanced, and each would have their merits. It's almost impossible to retain balance when one is mad and one is tainted. Even within ourselves, it is hard enough to maintain balance. Pressing that outwards, actually pushing the scales, is much harder.
I don't know. Perhaps maybe all of us breaking at him got through to him a bit. But he's too far gone and we all know it. We're just afraid to say it.
He's certainly close, Raya, if not already there.
And we've dilly-dallied long enough. We've given her time. And what has she done? Nothing.
Her, Raya.
He's fucking alpha.
Raya, do you know any way to balance him again?
He'll stare at her. There is one way.
That is ending, not balancing.
Sometimes the end requires in order to bring balance back.
There are other ways.
And she's never conveyed it to us. She's never told us. We are all in the dark watching him go steadily worse.
And what if she doesn't even know, Raya?
Well, then the answer is very simple. And it's a cruel one, but it could be that answer. And it's not one that I take lightly. Because as much as William might have and I have a history, there is a part of me that still once called him brother.
Raya, is he a threat to the Sept and our ability to protect the cairn?
Do we know that for sure?
Unless he is.
Look at all those people who died, 10 Point.
Right, even we have killed people in swives.
Look at all of them. I am saying we have killed people, a lot of people, but we have always maintained a balance. Look at all of that. Therese's death. All this. It's all a ripple.
How does Therese's death come back to William White, Raya?
Look at it all. Look at all the people doubting themselves now because of it. You can tell he is still very drunk. Look at them all. In their hearts and souls, you can see it. Even Theresa herself. Instead of moralizing us, it demoralized us. It made us think hard about ourselves and how horrible we are. That can tear a person apart and make them distracted. Can take away the hope it was meant to create.
Right, there are many, many humans, and there will be many, many more. We have our kin. But even they are under threat.
I see, 10 point. I see. Just there's a bit this bitter head shake.
I don't mean to sound crude, Raya, but then again, I did not grow up among people.
Look at what our tribe is built on. Look at all of this. We all take necessary sacrifices, but what we did there was not a fight. We killed all these people. And yes, some of them may have been weaver tainted, and some of them very well may not have. But we didn't think, we just barreled in and killed everything. Now all the ripples from that show how we are becoming the very thing we're fighting against.
Did we lose any kin, Raya?
Yes, we did. Look at them all.
At the hospital, Raya.
There was no kin at the hospital that we know of. That we know of.
And she takes up a somber expression and drops her head.
Doesn't matter anyway. Who the fuck's gonna listen to me?
Anyone who has two brain cells to rub together, Raya.
I doubt that. Most people didn't even react when he threatened me, but when Talate was threatened, oh boy. Huh. God forbid.
You have allies, Raya. You have friends.
Fucking few and far between.
Perhaps few, but they're all but made of gold, Raya. They're worth more than the rest.
Doesn't feel like it, 10 point. Feels like I'm on my own in this place.
It shouldn't, Raya.
It does some days. Now that the rage is gone, it just feels sadness. Do you know? I still feel that burning anger, but it's fading and I can feel it. It's just sadness now. I don't know. Maybe this is like the last stage of it or something. Feels like.
The last stage of what, Raya?
When you unknot something like that, maybe it reveals what is underneath. What it's been festering over, the infection. When you clean it away, there's the wound itself.
Perhaps, Raya.
Yeah, maybe.
Don't fall into it, Raya.
I'm trying not to, 10 point, it's just hard.
She finally gets a little bold since she's already sitting there and already has the arm draped around her. And she turns just enough to counter, slipping her arm behind him and pulls him, at least briefly, into a squeeze of a hug. You're not as alone as you think you are, Raya.
He'll like lift her up, so basically she's sitting on him.
No.
Yeah, well, at least I have you.
You do.
Do you know what the creepy thing is, 10 point?
Quirks a brow.
You just look at her. Don't take this the wrong way. But I enjoy your company more than my own wife.
Then she kind of purses her lips thoughtfully for a second and then cracks an admittedly tentative, kind of a shadow of a teasing grin. Well, the difference, Raya, is that one of us is the way you made us.
Face falls. Yeah. Very
I
good at
don't
that.
mean that, Raya. Not like that. You didn't have to exert influence to earn my care. I fell at your feet well before these lessons began.
I'm just saying, 10 point. It's just odd, that's all.
Give her time, Raya.
Out of everyone, I think, out of all of us, I think I'd be the most devastated if you went.
You're in luck, Raya. I have very little desire to die.
Just nod somberly.
Then yeah, she's playing it off, but he can feel not even not pulses of emotion, but there's kind of a dull echo in the pack link. Pretty clear, pretty readily clear how much the statements mean to her.
Just look at her. I probably won't make it past 30.
You will if I have any say, Raya.
Yeah, like we don't live long here.
Perhaps most do not. But we are not most.
I just shrug. Just a bad day, 10 point, that's all.
I know, Raya.
Thanks for coming to get me.
Of course.
You reach over and actually probably very affectionately like pull a lock back from her face.
And yeah, she gets like kind of that kind of loose, comfortable, blissful expression.
Do you mind sleeping in my room tonight?
Of course not, Raya.
I don't want to be alone. Not tonight.
You're never alone, Raya. But yes. She even reaches out and like lightly, very gently, like pokes his temple.
Just nod. I know I seem weird and stuff. It's just the alcohol does funny things to me.
Don't worry yourself, Raya.
Just nod slowly. Gently kind of sit up and basically, to be honest, he just lifts her up. Doesn't even bother.
Oh,
Carries,
damn.
yeah, carries her inside.
Well, that'll work. Yeah, she probably initially started to shift her weight, but getting clinched into the arms will settle back down so that she doesn't overbalance him because he's not wasted, but she doesn't need to be thrown off his balance.
And eventually, yeah, he just plonks her down on the bed and he flops to the side and just gone. The moment he hits the bed, he's out. Still dressed.
And yeah, she'll be a little startled to even be deposited like on the bed, but you know what? He passes out. She will, for the sake of propriety, much as she did for Sears, she will take Lupus and drape out so that she is close enough to lay an arm around, close enough to be present.
And yeah, no, that's Aiden out for the count.
Very well. So with therapy Lupus all up in Aiden's room, we will say thank you, players, for playing and watchers for watching. See you next time on the Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York.